Hello everybody, welcome to this session on Canva Magic in Canva Education. My name's Ryan Noonan and my current role is a leader of digital technologies at Chevalier College, but I've had previous experience sharing my Canva skills across the state of New South Wales here in Australia as a digital learning leader, and I've also worked in the corporate AI consultant space, and I've been a Canva educator for the last couple of years, sharing the wonderful things you can do in Canva education. So before we get started, I'd just like to see where everybody's at in their understanding of Canva education. So I've got a little whiteboard that I'm going to put the link into the chat for you to share how comfortable you are with the Canva tools. So I'd like to know, what is your comfort level? What do you currently use Canva for? And have you used some of the magic tools or tried these out? So we can go ahead to the whiteboard, indicate your levels on this whiteboard. I'll give you a couple of minutes to complete that before we head on to my presentation. All right, thanks for sharing your level of comfort with Canva and some of the tools that you guys have used. So I can see we've got different levels in the audience today. And today's session, we're just going to go over some of the magic tools that are in Canva. So I'm going to start with what is Canva Education and how it's a little bit different than Canva Pro itself. We'll look at the magic tools from the editor, one of my new favorite magic tools, Canva Code, and then any resource sharing and questions at the end of the session. So let's get started. So Canva Education, what is Canva Education? So Canva Education is an area that education facilities and systems have access to all of the Canva tools that you'll find in Canva and Canva Pro. So you have extra access than the Canva free version as an educator and as an education system. So on top of the general designs that you can create in Canva, you also have access to the visual suite. So we have access to docs, whiteboards, presentations, Canva videos, Canva sites, and Canva sheets. So Canva is more than just a poster creation tool. You've got all these amazing resources that you can use in the visual suite in Canva. So in Canva, we can create a deluge of things. And here on the screen, you can see some of the examples you can use in your classroom with your students or as teachers to help you create learning resources and to push the students' understanding of learning to a different level. Just leave it there, take some time to read through some of those that you may not have realized you can create in Canva. I think one of the most recent ones for me is highlighting Canva video. So Canva video editing is actually very powerful now. So if you haven't had a go at the Canva video, I recommend having a look at some of the editing tools that are available within Canva video. So schools and educators have two different Canva licensing paths that I'd like to point out before I go into the AI tools. So some of the AI tools are different depending on the licensing path that you have. So there's the individual teacher licensing. So all educators can get Canva Education for free. It just has slightly different limitations than having the Canva for schools and school system licensing. And some of the key ones there you can see in the list is the single sign-on for schools and school systems. So highly recommend having a look at the different licensing pathways for schools and as well as individual teachers if your school doesn't have any licensing. So personally, we use the single sign-on licensing at Chevalier College to help the enterprise protection and the single sign-on process for our students and teachers, just so it's an easy, seamless process. And it also gives us admin control and access to a heap of the Magic Studio tools that I'm going through. But if you're an individual teacher, you also have access to the basic AI tools that I'll be looking at today, as well as a lot of the education resources available to individual teachers. So Canva Education is free, but why is it free? The main reason is that Canva believe that education is a human right and all students and teachers should have access to the amazing tools that live within Canva itself. So at the moment and for the near future, it will remain free for education. So make sure that you sign up as an educator or as a school system to access the resources that Canva has available. So Canva AI. So Canva AI is what Canva like to call their magic. And the AI is what drives the magic tools within Canva. So here are some examples of the Canva Magic tools. So we have things like generating quizzes, Magic Resize to resize documents, Magic Design that will generate designs for you, including presentations, Magic Write that'll generate text for you within a document. We have Magic Grab as an editing tool where you can grab images outside of another image and then it'll fill in the background using some AI magic. We have Canva Code that'll code complete interactive resources and learning resources for you and your students. We have Magic Media that will generate images, Magic Animate that'll animate the elements on a page. We have Magic Edit where we can use tools like erase and generating new images within the one image itself. We have Magic Morph, Magic Expand, and then Magic Translate, which is an amazing tool that'll take your text in different languages and then convert it to other languages to make it more accessible to our communities in the education field. You may or may not realize that Canva Magic Tools, so Canva AI, is actually licensed under an all ages license, which means that under this license, it's available for all students, not just teachers as well. So you can be completely assured that the AI is safe under an all ages terms of services within Canva to use with your students, not just your teachers. And at Chevalier College, we've opened this up for our students to have access to all of the AI tools, to take advantage of the AI tools in their creation process within Canva, as well as the teachers. And so we've seen the students using this in very powerful ways. So that's Canva for Education. And in the chat, I'd like you to pop how you're feeling about some of the AI tools in education. Are you curious to learn more? Are you excited by some of the tools that are available within Canva that you weren't aware of? Are you nervous or anxious about some of the tools and opening up for the students? How does that make you feel? So pop that in the chat so we can see and share how everyone's feeling about the AI tools in Canva. All right, everybody, let's have a look at Canva AI tools, the magic. So let's have some live demonstrations of what it actually looks like within the Canva editor. So what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be using some of the Canva AI magic tools from the Magic Studio. And you can see I'm clicking the button on the right hand side that says Canva AI, and then I'm going to be putting in my prompts into the chat window and clicking on what I want it to create for me. So it's slightly different than a regular chatbot in this sense because it's going to create documents for us based on what we ask for, not just have a back and forth conversation. So let's dive into a live session. All right, what I'm going to do is I'm going to start in a Canva doc. So I'm going to click into a Canva doc, and in this Canva doc, I'm going to utilize the Magic Write tool based on an outcome. So I have an outcome to do with agriculture that I need to teach to my year 7 and 8 students. And it's around content that I'm not really confident about. So I'm going to head into Magic Write and I'm going to create a presentation. But before I go and create a presentation, I'm going to use Magic Write to get an outline of the presentation so I can edit it and be more accurate in what I'm getting the Canva Magic presentation to create for me. So I'm going to ask for create a presentation outline based on the following learning outcome. And I'll go and paste the outcome in there, fix some of the spelling, and then click generate. And what that will do is it will go and generate a document for me and an outline based on the learning outcome. So I'm going to add that in there. It's created an outline for my learning and the information that should be included in my slide deck. So while it's all highlighted, I'm just going to go and copy that one. And I'm going to head back to my Magic Studio where I'm going to click Canva. This time I'm going to get the Canva AI to design for me and design a presentation. I'm going to paste in the outline of my presentation, click go, and then what will happen is Canva AI will go and design some slideshow presentations based on the information that I've provided for it. Canva AI will provide me 4 different options of templates and information that I can go and pick and choose from. So it's not just presenting one. And you'll find when these pop up, it's amazing layout. So Canva's done a lot of work in the back end to obviously not just provide you with empty slides that other tools may provide with you. So you can see here that we have some of these amazing layouts for our presentation that I can go and pick from. So I think I'm liking this vector one here in this second option. So I'm going to click that one, and it pops up with a preview. And in this preview, I can go and analyze the different slides to see, is this the template that I would like to work through? So I'm just sliding through, checking out some of these information and images. And I'm not too pedantic with the information that's on there at the moment, but if I wanted to change it, I can click on the text, go and change some of the text and tick it off that I'm happy with. Or I can go up to the top right hand side and click on use in the Canva editor, and then I can go and edit this like any other Canva presentation. So you can see my slides are down there at the bottom. I can go and edit the text just like normal. The images, I can go and change the images if I'm not happy, but I'm very happy with these images, to be honest. And some of the layouts, I'm really happy with some of the layouts and the template that Canva's picked for me. But obviously I'd have to go and edit this information to make sure it's appropriate to the outcomes, the learning, and for the students' levels in my classroom. So I've got a really good starting point now, though, in the lesson. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to go back to my Canva editor. And here I'm going to go to Canva AI again. But instead of a presentation this time, what I'm going to do is get it to design a doc for me. And this doc is going to be a worksheet to support the following learning outline. And what I'm going to do is just paste in that outline again. And this time I'll have my presentation already created for me with Canva. And now this time I'm going to have a worksheet that can go along with that presentation for the students to work through. So you can see it's generating the worksheet over here on the right hand side as a Canva doc. And because that's a Canva doc, I can go and edit that in Canva. And all of this is editable, so I can go and edit this to make it the worksheet appropriate to me. You can see it's added in all the information around the outline that I provided, and then some of this information I might like to take out or add to, and then I might like to create more space for the students to write as well. And then I can use this as a digital tool, a digital worksheet, so I can send this to my students in my learning management system, which is what I like to do. I like to send it to my students through OneNote, which is the learning management that I have in my classroom on top of the Canvas courses as well. So the students will have an opportunity to fill this in digitally, but obviously you can see that this can be printed out as well. So at any time I can edit this information and add in spacing for the students to write if I was printing this out as a worksheet. But there you go. I've got a presentation and a worksheet ready to go teach my lesson or multiple lessons based on the outcomes that are provided for me from the New South Wales syllabus. All right, let's jump back into our presentation. Kicking off with some of the tools that I mentioned. So I mentioned Magic Write, but I also talk about Magic Media that I didn't go through in the live demonstration. So Magic Write is the tool that I used to generate my outline. So Magic Write can generate text like that for you in a document, but there's other ways to use Magic Write as well. So there's some quick tools there, some quick Magic Write tools to show you that it can do these simple things that you don't have to go through a whole prompt, or you can write that custom prompt as well that I did in that demonstration. And just different ways to see Magic Write. So I clicked Magic Write at the top left when you saw me, but you also look out for the Magic Write pencil. So you can see the little magic sparkles around the pencil in that image on the left-hand side. And then the Canva Assistant can provide you with Magic Write, which is the sparkles itself, or the actual text box like I mentioned. So there is some awesome cheat sheets if you want some prompts that you can use in Canva documents. So these are different examples here on this page, but it's easy to find the cheat sheets for Canva. You just go and search online for Canva cheat sheets. And then when you're in the cheat sheets in the design school, go and search Magic Write, and you'll find these different prompt ideas that you can use to give you ideas about some of the documents you can start creating or some of the generative writing you can start using in Canva designs. Another amazing feature of Magic within Canva is the Magic Media. So not only can we generate text, we can generate images and edit those images with the Magic tools as well. So here's an example. We can go and generate the Magic Media, and I'm going to give you guys a challenge at the end of this that I'm going to challenge you to create a hybrid animal or a hybrid food or a hybrid between an animal and a food, and we're going to share that back into the whiteboard. So keep that in mind as I go through some of these tools. So that will generate the text, but then we can also use the Magic tools to edit images as well. So if you click on any image within Canva, you can go to the edit tool in the top menu, and we have these amazing tools that use some AI to edit the images that you're using. So in this example, you can go to edit and edit the background to remove the background. You can use the Magic Eraser tool to erase aspects of an image. You can use the Magic Grab tool to grab aspects of an image out and put it into another image, or it's its own image, so you can go and shrink it and make it bigger, that kind of thing. You can use this amazing tool called Magic Text Grab, and it'll grab text out of images. So you can grab it out of a post, or you can grab it out of writing that you have, and you can go and edit that text. You can use Magic Edit, so you can add things to an image or change things within an image using Magic Edit. So in this example, you would highlight the ball and change it to an astronaut in space on the world. You can use Magic Expand, which you will expand out on either side of an image. So you can do that horizontally or vertically to expand out the image, and it will add extra elements on the outsides of your actual image, but keep the consistency of the image. And then we have amazing tools such as generate background. So not only just remove background to put it into something else, but we can take out the background entirely, keep the subject of the image intact. For example, in this one, we can change the background to something like a desert or a sunset. So as I mentioned at the start of the design media section, now's your chance to flex your skills with Magic Media. So go and head to that Canva AI on the home page, and we're going to generate an image. If you don't have access to the Canva on your screen, or you want to watch me access the screen, I'm going to go through the same process. But this is a follow along, so make sure you go and create your own image and then add your image to the Canva whiteboard so everyone else can see it that we used at the start. So let me jump into the home page again to generate an image. So I'm going to go back to Canva home, and I'm going to click on the Canva AI. And then this time, instead of generating a doc, I'm going to go generate an image. And we wanted a hybrid between an animal and a food. So let's go create a hybrid horse and apple animal creation. I'll click go. You can start seeing that it's generating the image underneath. You have 500 generations a month on the school system plan. So I've generated 7 images. I have 493 left. You can see that it's gone and attempted to create a different hybrid of a horse and an apple. I think this one here is kind of the best hybrid between a horse and an apple. So I'm going to go open that in the editor. And I don't like the background, so I'm going to go use my editing skills and go and remove, or let's generate a new background and have this horse in a magical forest. Go and generate that one. And you see it scanning the image, so it'll keep the subject in the image and then change the background. It's given me 4 options to pick from. They all look very similar. I think I like the lighting on this first one, to be honest. So I'm going to keep this first image. Click done, and now I have my magical forest that my hybrid apple horse is standing in. I can go and click that press Command C or Control C depending on your device and go and pop it into the whiteboard that we're using earlier to share with everyone else. Let's head back to the presentation just to finish off some amazing extra tools that are available in the Magic Suite as well. So one of my favorite tools at the moment is Canva Code. I have my students access to Canva Code as well, so they love using this tool to create some interactives. And what Canva Code is, it's a tool to create things like widgets for classroom management. You can bring instructional materials to life. You can code and empower students to create interactive designs that they can use in their Canva presentations or Canva as a Canva website as well. So my kids love using Canva Code to create little games to show their understanding or to reinforce the understanding of what we're learning in the classroom. So how do you use Canva Code? Again, you go to that Canva AI suite on the home page, and instead of clicking Design for Me or Images, this time we're going to click on Code for Me. And when you click Code for Me, you can go and ask for the interactive that you want it to create. So when you're creating the interactive, I recommend using a format similar to this one where you ask it what you want to create, what do you want it to do, and then the different style that you want for the widget in your classroom. It'll start coding or go and start coding away. At any point, you can come back to what you've coded and created on the left-hand side. And on the left-hand side, when it's coding away, you can have a conversation to change what it creates as well. So you can then share this easily, so you can use what it creates within a design as well. So you can use it in a website, you can use it in a presentation, you can have it as a widget in a doc. So anything you create can be embedded in other designs as well, or it can be used as a standalone website that you can share out. And then you can share it either as a website, as I mentioned, or as a public view link. So the public view link will allow others to double click and interact with the widget and learning resource as well. So there's an amazing website put together by Joe Muirhead, and I'm just going to quickly jump out of this presentation to show you this website. So this website is collated of other designs that teachers have created. So if you have an idea or you don't know what you can create, you can come to this web page that I put a link to in the chat, and this web page will show you some examples of what can be created with Canva Code. Some of the resources around learning Canva Code, and contact Joe there who's put this together. So let me click into the English language section, and you can see there's some amazing interactives in here, including some of the prompts of how they were created if you want to go and create your own and adjust them. But you can see some of the things that the teachers have been creating and sharing with Joe that she's happily shared back with everyone else. So you can click on these, it'll take you to an example. This is a view or copy link, and then you can see how it's an interactive. It has text editing on this one, and it's going through planning content, so you can create these with and for your students as an example, or you can come here and use some of the ones that Joe has put together for you. So amazing resources there in Canva. And let's just finish off the presentation with some resources that have been shared out and created by Canva and other educators to help you learn Canva in more detail. So not only was there the page created by Joe, but Canva itself has created some widgets. So if you follow any of these QR codes, it'll take you to the resources. You can see some of the widgets that Canva's been creating with Canva Code themselves. There's a design school course called Code for Me course that'll go through how to learn and enhance your skills with Canva Code. Recommend that one. There's a whole course in the design school around AI in the classroom that will go through some of the skills I've been talking about in more detail. There's the Canva teacher resources on the teacher resource page of Design School. There's the Design School sessions that we can go through. You can become a Canva certified educator within the Design School as well. So amazing resources on the Design School. And I highly recommend joining the Canva community. So this will lead you to some of the community Canva community pages where you'll find some Canvassators like myself answering questions that teachers put up in there. Other teachers ask questions in there, so you can see what people are asking around Canva, and talk about the cool tools that are in Canva for you to use and how teachers are using them. So thank you for coming along to this presentation today and seeing the amazing magic tools in Canva, and happy designing. Hopefully I can see some of the designs you're creating in the Canva community pages. So thank you for coming along.